Hi guys. So today we have a very interesting topic to talk about. As you can see, I often hear, so how come four brothers, of course the number varies, how come two brothers, three brothers, four brothers are all going to propose to a particular sister, and every single one of them claims that God led them to that particular sister? First of all, for me, it's normal for more than one man to go toward a woman and say that I'm interested in you, I would like to spend the rest of my life with you. But I think that the question that people usually have is, so can God lead five different brothers to one sister? Am I right? I think that is basically the question. Let's talk about it. So the first thing that I am going to say is, it's normal, first of all, the part where different men come to you as a sister. So in this video, I'm going to be addressing the ladies, okay? So just understand that, when you're a lady, getting to that age where, not even like you've got to that age, of course, it's normal for different men to be interested in you. But at the end of the day, the ball is in your court. At the end of the day, you'd have to decide who you want to spend the rest of your life with. So I'm going to be sharing with you a few things that I believe are going to help you if you find yourself in that situation. Now, depending on the church that you attend, I believe that those brothers are going to come one by one after the other. So let's even assume that they don't come one after the other, that you get two particular brothers come basically like at the same time, not like on the same day, but you understand, and both of them say, I believe that you are the one that the Lord wants me to spend the rest of my life with. What do you do, sis? Because the decision lies with you now. You have to decide whether it's by Joseph or it's by David. I cannot say whether or not God spoke to those five different people. I cannot say who God did not speak to and who God spoke to. But you as a lady should be able to develop your personal relationship with God to the point where God speaks to you and you would know who God wants you to settle down with. Because at the end of the day, is it A, is it B? You have to decide who is God also telling you to spend the rest of your life with. And this is why I usually say, well, it's not really about, oh, maybe if one brother has come, a second one has come, then I have to say yes because I don't want to say no, so that people will not think of me as, I don't know, all those thoughts. Girl, if it's three people who have come and those three people you believe are not the ones that you should say yes to, say no. All right. So, but it's important that you are also not saying no because, well, you are looking at maybe physical attributes and all of that. So that leads me to the second point, which is, don't choose by sight. Especially if you get those brothers come to you at the same time. As I said, I don't know the church you attend, so depending on the church that you attend, depending on the church culture that you have when it comes to marriage proposal. Let's assume that you have two brothers come around the same time, and you are aware that brother Joseph is interested and he's saying that the Lord is leading him. Brother David is also interested, he's also saying that the Lord is leading him. You have to know, is it Joseph, is it David, or is none of them? You are going to get super confused if you yourself, you don't have a personal relationship with God, because both of them are claiming God led them. So what are you going to use to determine that indeed God led them? All right. Now, the other thing that I have to say is, do not engage in comparison. Okay, so since brother Joseph came first, let me see. Okay, brother Joseph seems to be more friendly, like things like that. And while those things are also important, don't choose by sight or just by the things that you see. I highly encourage that you allow the Lord to lead you, because so many physical things that can still mislead you. When Samuel went to anoint someone in the house of Jesse, when he saw the other brothers, he saw like those David's brothers, He thought it would be one of them, but God said no, it's none of them. He was looking at the physical attribute, like these guys, they look mature and all of that. And if you're going to go by the physical attribute, David most likely wouldn't have been part of the choices. But God has a way of choosing, and He sees what you don't see. So don't engage in comparison, comparing brother A with brother B. No, just allow the Lord to lead you. So the question I have to ask you, sis, if you are listening to me and you probably find yourself in such a situation, is how is your personal relationship with God, and are you able to hear God for yourself? If not, you definitely want to work on that. Another thing I would say is don't choose based on external influence. So like maybe you have friends advising you, sis, see, listen, choose brother Joseph, because the way I see brother Joseph, XYZ, they may even be right, but do not make such an important decision without a personal conviction, because marriage is such a huge thing. You want to make sure that you are entering because you know that you should go into that relationship. So don't choose based on external influence, and that can be from different angles. I'm not going to cite more examples, but I believe that you understand. It can come from the church, it can come from outside the church. Be sure that you are personally convinced that this is the person that the Lord is leading you to. Now, the next thing I'm going to say is know your purpose. I probably should have mentioned this after saying you should build a personal relationship with God. Know your purpose. And there are so many reasons it's important for you to know your purpose while you are single before you choose a life partner. I explained this in my book, Understanding God's Will for My Life. If you don't yet have a copy and you are in a situation similar to what I'm describing, where you have different brothers, interested, who are saying, I believe God led me to you, and you are confused and you don't know what to do, or even you haven't gotten to that stage, or you're not in that situation, but you are still single and you don't know your purpose, I would highly encourage you to get a copy of my book, Understanding God's Will for My Life, so you go through it. In there, I explain why it's important for you to know your purpose before marriage. So I hope that these few points help. If you have anything to add, please drop it in the comments. Again, I don't know who is right. What I know for sure is God is not an author of confusion. He possibly cannot be leading 5 people to marry one particular person. But as to who is God really leading and who is God not leading, I cannot tell. You probably will not be able to tell, but if anything, you should know who God is leading you to, or whether or not the person who has come is the right person for you. Now, another thing that I have to say is that people can genuinely be wrong. So that's why in my book, Understanding God's Will for My Life, I explain to you how to know if it is really God speaking to you, how to get to know God's voice, how to identify God's voice, especially in this noisy world that we are in. So even if you are a guy listening to this, you also want to check the description, get your copy, and I'm sure that it's going to be a blessing to you. Well, I hope that this helps someone out there. Feel free to share this video with someone, and I'm going to talk to you in my next video. Bye, guys.